Right. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing today? Right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna hop into it. Glad you guys are here. I'm Lionheart LeQuinn, and I am your trading instructor this evening, but we're not gonna be going over technically a class. Every session is kind of a class. This one is a little bit different because we're gonna be covering the different potential market come-ups for the week. I'm gonna cover all the gold pairs that I trade, and then we're gonna try to squeeze Bitcoin or XRP in there as well. But outside of that, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the chat box. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and jump into it. So we're gonna start off with gold versus the US dollar. Let's see. Stretch my screen out a little bit. And if you have any questions along the way, if you could hold off until the end, just so I can get through the charts, and then I will answer any questions. And you guys can keep me. I don't really have another meeting after this, so you guys can keep me as long as you can, and log on, log off whenever you're ready after the 8:15 marker. All right, so I'm just gonna start marking up charts. We're gonna go to the week time frame real quick. Some of these lines are still here from last week or the previous weeks. So I just want to see how much stayed true. So yeah, I mean it's definitely still kind of in the same areas that we marked up last week. We had a resistance line over here at 727.90 area where it's kind of currently at right now. I'm gonna set my alarm for a high. It hit 28.16 before the market ended up closing. So I'm gonna get that as close as possible. 28.16. That's cool right there. And I'm setting an alarm for 28.16 because that was the high that it hit last time. Just so you guys know, gold is at an all-time high right now, so something to keep an eye on as well. Don't have to mark this one up too much because it's already been marked up from last week. I'm gonna keep these same lines here. I'm not gonna recreate the wheel. Now I feel like I see some other lines. Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame, see what we can figure out as well. This in. Right, here we go. So I saw this line look like it was acting as support. Now it will be acting as resistance because price is currently under this 27.90 marker. All right. So honestly, what I'm thinking is going to happen, I have these three EMAs here, these little squiggly lines, the light green, the dark green, and then the yellow line. Those are my EMAs. Whenever it crosses over my EMA, I'm normally saying that it's going to be a downtrend. So if you guys remember the market structure class we had last week, I would say that gold is going into a downtrend right now since the market has opened. Let me minimize this. Since the market has opened, I believe, yeah, we're already down 9 pips right now, or not, yeah, 90 pips right now. So gold is definitely on a decline right now. I can see it going down to, let's go back to the week time frame. And the reason you want to keep switching back and forth, you want to switch right before you place a trade to the smallest time frame. So if you plan on holding a trade an hour, you wanna have at least a 4 hour look at what's ahead of you. If you plan on holding a trade for a week, you want to definitely look at the week time frame. So that gives you that's a very basic way of looking at it. You don't want to trade a short-term trade with a week charts that you're looking at. All right. So coming into here, I'm expecting it for the definitely a downtrending week. We don't know what's going to happen Monday because we are still technically in an uptrend. As you can see, it's definitely still in an uptrend. So I normally wait until 27, the next sign of support or resistance which would be right here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line right here and show you guys the areas where I feel like we should be getting some entries in. So somewhere around here, see if I can make that a little smaller. Maybe not. Oh, circle in here. So somewhere around this trend line is where I expect us to kind of get a very good entry that we can hold long term for a bullish trade. because clearly we're sinking right now. Market has opened up. It's been open for about 3 hours, and we're heading towards a bearish candle, or we're on a bearish candle now, and that's just more likely going to be price correction for how much gains we had from all of last, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row of bullish weeks. So that is not unheard of with gold, as you can see in the past. There's definitely multiple weeks of gold being on an uprise, but at some point in time, people do have to decide where, hey, gold is at an all-time high, price is too high, we got to bring it back down a little bit. So I do expect at least it to come down to about right here, 27.49, definitely. It was there 2 weeks ago, or last week rather. So I mean, I definitely see it revisiting there. And honestly, I can see it retesting right here where this, I don't know if you guys can see this wick right here, this wick on this the candle before, this bearish one. But we came all the way down to 27.26, and that was valid. I was there for that. So that's an area to get in right there, 27.26. Go ahead and start noting some areas. So 27.46 area, and then 27.26 area. 7.26 area. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say entry for a buy around these two areas. That's if you plan on, I would hold on to a trade for about 2, 3 days. It could go there tomorrow, like tomorrow around noon. I could see it being at 27.40 if we go down that route. If not, it's gonna go ahead. Like I said, I'm here about possibilities. I like to not call them predictions because they're my predictions when I put my bias on them and I say, hey, I'm a bullish trader. But in all honesty, you want to be able to know whether the market goes either way, which it more than likely is going to do that. You still want to be able to take advantage of whichever way it swings. So don't think you have to be right in the market. It's really just kind of making sure that once you do have a basis of what you believe the market is going to do, sticking to your trading plan and then rocking with your trading plan, and win or lose, you're still staying true to your trading plan. All right. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and say 27.46 and 27.26 area for a buy. And for a sell, like I said, because we're at an all-time high, it's unprecedented territories right now. So I would say 28.16 for a retest because that's where it went last week. And I believe that is going to be a solid retesting point. After it hits there, it might come back down to 2800, just to play devil's advocate and retest at that boundary, that even boundary. You'd be surprised how many times it takes some as you can tell, it's the market is such a sentimental thing, and you can tell it's ran by humans because whenever you get around that 2800 mark, or any solid 00 mark at the end, 2800, 2900, 20, whatever it is, there's always some pushback, and there's always some resistance before it actually breaks through. So I do expect that to happen this week. And if I had to place a trade for the 27.40, let's just break it as a 27.26 area, I would ride that up to basically where it is now, 27.80, as take 3 profit. And if you guys don't know what the different profit numbers are, all that is basically you're able to scalp along the way. Let's say you have 3 trades open. So I would have one trade with a take profit of 27.80. The next trade, take profit of 27.50. And then actually, no, let's do 27.60. And then my first take profit would be 27.50. So stop losses, you definitely want to base that off of your account size, and you also want to base it off your strategy. Some people do pips, some people do price. I like to do 1 ATR under after my trade is invalidated, meaning that if it, for instance, if it breaks past this right here, this area right here, I'm gonna have 1 ATR for a stop loss. So I would have my stop loss, no, not on the week, but I would have, let me go down to the 1 hour time frame. I would have my stop loss right after it invalidated my trade, meaning that after I knew I was wrong, I would have a one stop loss, one ATR, which is one of these little blocks you can see in the background here. Those are ATRs, average true range. And that is what I would have as my stop loss, one after my trade is invalidated. So if my trade is invalidated right here, I would basically have my stop loss right down here. You got me? One complete ATR after that. Uh, let me. I will have to teach a class on that, so you guys can get that a little bit more. I want to move on to the next chart, but right now, if you guys want to screenshot this or put it on your charts, so you guys can know how to trade appropriately. I would say buy entry area. The first buying entry area would be 27.46 if we get down that low. The next buying entry area would be 27.26. And then if you're going in for a sell, I would wait for it to hit up 28.16 again and retest that area. Take profits 27.50, 27.60, and 27.80. All right. And you can text me, DM me if you need help with your stop loss. Like I said, I would base that off of your account size and also your trading plan. All right. So we're gonna move to gold versus the Aussie dollar, Aussie, Australian dollar. Let's see, we're gonna go back to the week time frame. And once again, all these markets are on uptrends right now. So I'm gonna try to completely clean this up. Then we're gonna do the gold versus euro after this, and that's more than likely gonna be it. So all I'm looking for is tops and bottoms, right? Market structure and some touches. So I'm gonna call that, split that difference in the middle. So some line a little straight. So basically, I'm looking for gold to come back down here in this area, somewhere in the support area. But like I said, this is on the week time frame, so it could come down here this week. Anything could happen. I feel like gold versus the Aussie definitely is a lot more volatile than gold versus the U.S. dollar. That's just from what I've been seeing from just experience. But it's don't ever predicate your decision in the another market. So don't just because gold U.S. dollar is going up, don't think that gold Australian dollar is going to go up as well. So let's see, second. Let me switch back so I can copy and paste that rather quickly. Go ahead and go take profits back over there. True. Just so you guys know, these are only 15-minute sessions. I might stretch a little bit longer. I feel like I was long-winded on the gold versus the US dollar, but that's just because that's the one I trade the most, and I want you guys to get some valid entries there. But these next two should just be flying past. So we are currently at 45.46. So I'm gonna say if we're getting in about right here, 43, 43, let's call it let's put the difference 45, 47 area. And I would be waiting for it to come back and retest that area 45, 76. I'm not going to recommend a sell on here at all. Not for this market. And that's just from me just not wanting, that's just not something. I wouldn't take that trade. So I'm not going to tell you guys to take that trade. I know gold versus US dollar is going to drop and all these prices are going to have correction, but I'd rather you guys focus on a bullish market right now because we're clearly up on an uptrend and I don't want to give you guys false information. So if I'm getting that at 47, 46, let's go back down to 1 hour. All right, so now we're on 1 hour candles. Yep. So we're getting right here. And we will, just a heads up, we have class tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but 7 p.m. to 7:30, just to give you guys a heads up if you guys didn't receive Google Calendar invites. We'll be back in the markets tomorrow. I'll be in the markets in the morning for everyone who has a membership and would like to trade at 9 o'clock. I will be there strong for you guys, and I will see you in the morning. Just a heads up, if you gotta log off. So I see this double bottom right here. I'm gonna call it split the difference right there. So I'd be looking at that 47, so 47.76. That's cool. Zero. So when I say an area, that just means it's not gonna might come down there directly to that number, but in that area is where you can look to get in for a safe buy and have a decent stop loss. If anything, second. So I would say first take profit would be 4,500 bucks a week for this first take profit. For second one, 45.10. Then the next one, let's see what we got a high of. Well, yeah, 45.10. So we got a high 45.60. Let's go 45.30 for take profit number three. So if you need help plugging in your trades, give me a call, give me a text, shoot me a DM. However you get in touch with me is fine. All right, and then so buy entry 45.76 area. Oops, is that right? That's why I don't know. 44.76. Sorry about that. 44.76. So 44.76, 44.76. All right, you guys want to screenshot this one? 44.76, 45, 47.6, 44.76 entry area. Sorry about that. All right, so we got 45.76 for entry area. We got 4,500 for take profit one, take profit two, 45.10, take profit three, 45.30. So far as a stop loss, if I had to say if it was going to invalidate my trade, let's go back to the 1 hour time frame, stretch this back out. And I can see that it is following the EMA, that yellow line. You see how it's kind of just trotting along every time it touches, kind of comes back up. So I would expect it to come down and retest this. Yes, yep, retest. So I would have my stop loss at 44.57. 457. Bad stop loss. And I would just say 44.50 area for your stop loss. That is where I would invalidate that trade. And then honestly, if you are getting in for that trade, don't think that you can't get in just because it dropped down lower. That just means you got a bigger discount on the price. All right. All right. Last market. I know I'm 4 minutes over. Well, market's up once again. We're in an uptrend looking at the market structure. Healthy gains, healthy gains. That trend line in there. Top and bottom. So if I'm looking at this market right now, there's some support and resistance in here. Second. So looking at this area, looks like we still have some bullish momentum. So I believe it is going to go up before it goes down. However, we do have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of consecutive some doji candles in there. So obviously, all that shows is that the price has been going up. But at the same time, it's starting to lose some of its flame. But then we have this big bullish candle right here, and I wouldn't call it big, but big enough to notate where price correction is coming. The trend is getting weaker. So I believe it's going to come down here. That's one area of support right here. It could retest that. If it doesn't retest there, it's probably going to retest in this area. So 24. So by entry. So the best position that you can get in is 24.75. That's pushing it because this is on the week time frame, and I highly doubt it's going to go all the way down there. So if we go back to the 1 hour time frame just for this week, that's for anyone taking long-term trades, I guess more so. But like I said, we're getting through the week to week, week to week. All right, so um, we're here on the 2682 area. So best entry is 2682. Time frame 2682 entry area. 682. So far as take profits, let's go back to the 1 hour. So we have an all-time high. Is that right? No, that's not right. I believe this candle right here was all-time high where it hits 20. No, it opened at 2734. So let's call a retest area for 2730. So we'll run it from there. Give me 1 second. Get these in here. 730. So I will buy entry 2682. I would call your first take profit 2710. Do the second take profit 2720. And the third take profit 2730. And trade lot size accordingly. So far as a stop loss, let's look at for a stop loss real quick. Stop loss, we are looking for 2640. So 2619. That's a little too far for my liking if we got it up there. So 2640. This one I would like to wait until tomorrow morning to see how we playing, because it looks like market jumped up from right here to right here. And anytime it does that, there's gonna be some extreme correction, and extreme correction can cause a massive downtrend. And seeing how these last few movements on these 1 hours aren't the strongest. There's clearly some volatility in there, but I can see it dropping down all the way down here to 2642 within the end of the week, potentially. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news, so sometimes that has stuff to do with it. But I would like to say that if I was going to do a stop loss, I would do it around the 2660 area. But in all honesty, I want to take a look at that one again in the morning just to see how that one moved overnight when London session happens. And we'll kind of go 660 area. All right. So those are the three market predictions. Those, like I said, those are the main three that I trade. Often Bitcoin is kind of, we can look at it, but Bitcoin is, in all honesty, it dropped down. I was in a trade, I want to say at 102, and now we're at 95. So I do plan on it's hitting its mid trend, downtrend right now, and I feel like it's going to go down to about 90,000. maybe 88. I remember it retest. Yeah, so yep, 88. So I could see it retesting at 88 area. Uh, and let me see. 1 second. Give you guys some, and just because I've been kind of stalking Bitcoin these past weekend, I'm kind of get through this one rather quickly. But outside of that, if anyone has to go, I appreciate you guys. But that is the end of Lions Wall Street markups. I know it took a little bit longer. I'm gonna go ahead and get this last price prediction on here. So the 68,000, 72,000 area, I do plan on going there, but that's weeks from now. I was thinking I was doing that for more long-term traders. So we're gonna get that out of there. I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, so if I'm doing a buy entry for gold, I'm sorry, Bitcoin, I'm gonna say 88,000 would be the best. 88,000 area would be the best area to get in. I'll do take profit first 95,000. Next one would be 100,000. And if you guys know anything about Bitcoin, 0.01 lot size is enough. If you from 88,000, if you let that go to 95,000, you wouldn't have to do that to make, a nice little 100, 2, 3, $400 just off a 0.01 lot size. So keep that in mind. And then we'll do 105 for take profit number 3 because we had a high on Bitcoin, I believe, of 108 still, and it hasn't retested since. It went up to 106 this week. So yeah, that's in stop loss area. I would say 84,000, and that's a super type stop loss. Just to let you guys know if you have an account that can support a deeper stop loss, go ahead. But I would keep Bitcoin. This is the extra. This is a cherry on top. So Bitcoin is not the one that I would expect you to make most of your money off of, just because the sporadicness of it. But nonetheless, that's where we're at with it. So stop loss area. So 84,000, but that is super tight. All right, so there you guys have it. Any questions, you guys know where to find me. You can email me at info@lionheartmotivationfactory.com. If anyone has any questions, this is the time to ask. I'm here, and even afterwards, shoot me a call, text, whatever, to get your questions answered. I'm here for you. Once again, if you have a monthly membership, we will be trading from 9 to 10. Give me a call if you need the link, or if you don't have the link, I will be sending it out to you tonight. All right. You guys take care. If there's no questions. Right. Have a good night.